All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. We're talking about the Chicago Bears in tonight's video. The Chicago Bears, folks, are 2-2 with their number one overall draft pick in Caleb Williams, who happens to be the quarterback. Now, expectations are much higher because, obviously the Bears won 7 games last year due to the trade from a couple of years ago. That's why they had the number one pick. So it does come with a certain level of expectations, just going from, 7-10 to, you're not the worst team in the NFL just because you had the first overall pick. So I will just say 2-2. I think if we rewind the clock a couple of months back, and I told you at face value, Caleb Williams will start off shaky, start off rocky, but he will improve from a week-to-week basis, and you will be 2-2 after the first month of the season with no other context. I think every single Bears fan would take that in a heartbeat, all right? Literally every single week, Caleb Williams has improved. I know statistically this past Sunday, especially, 157 yards doesn't seem too crazy. The best thing I've seen from Caleb Williams was there were 0 turnovers from not only Caleb, but the entire Bears offense. Penalties are killing this team. It feels like every positive play the Bears have, there's some, like Nate Davis held somebody. It just feels like that's kind of the way it's gone. But accuracy, passer rating, body language, confidence. They dialed the game plan down this past Sunday against Los Angeles, and you're just letting Caleb Williams grow into the NFL. All things considered, I just think people are asking too much from rookie quarterbacks, whether you were the first pick in the draft or you were the last pick in the draft. All right, so welcome back to the channel. Obviously, we're talking about the Chicago Bears in tonight's video, but before we do, if you guys enjoy it, be sure to hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily NFL and Bears content. Try and get this video to 100 likes, folks. That would mean the absolute world to me. So, progress, right? His weekly passer rating has gone from 55.7 to 51 to 80.8, and then this past Sunday 106.6. This was by far his best game. 73.9% completion percentage, 0.23 EPA per drop back, and he also dropped back 26 times compared to the other week 56 times. He completed every single pass he threw under 15 air yards, 15 of 15 in the 24-18 win on Sunday at home. And also a couple of team-friendly matchups. Got Carolina on Sunday, Jacksonville the next Sunday was that London game, and then your bye week. So there's a very real possibility that once again, with the number one draft pick quarterback, the Bears could be 4-2 through the first third of the NFL season. Now, it's not all perfect, but the game started really slow, but Caleb improved from the first half to the second half. Caleb completed 9 of 10 passes in the second half for 86 yards. The offense together put 4 consecutive scoring drives, including back-to-back touchdowns. Now, it's not all perfect, right? Caleb Williams on Sunday completed just 2 of his 7 passes over 15 air yards, including the 9-yard touchdown to DJ Moore. So he's still learning, especially with the deep ball. In fact, this is the stat. Anytime you see somebody nitpicking Caleb Williams on NFL media or article or whatever, it's this stat. Caleb Williams is 13 for 42 on passes that travel more than 10 air yards. All right, 3 interceptions and a passer rating of 22.7. The Chicago Bears are last in the league in explosive plays. But once again, when we factor in the offensive line and we factor in him being a rookie, it makes sense. And even comparing him to the guy who was drafted right behind him, Jayden Daniels. The big difference from Chicago in week 4 to the first 3 weeks was, to me, the game plan, specifically from Shane Waldron. A lot of dink and dunks type of stuff. You watch Jayden Daniels. The difference between Jayden Daniels and Caleb Williams is Jayden's made some crazy throws. He's made some crazy plays, and we have yet to really see that from Caleb Williams in the regular season, but they will come. But you watch a Jayden Daniels, watch the Commanders' full game, most of it is short yard stuff, right? Most of it. And that's pretty much exactly what we saw on Sunday against Los Angeles. Now, a huge component to the Bears' victory, the defense, but the run game, finally. Running back, DeAndre Swift, season high, 93 yards and a touchdown on 16 carries. Rashawn Johnson had 7 carries for 26 yards and a touchdown. The Chicago Bears as a unit had 131 rushing yards. Now, I get it. The Rams have the worst run defense in the league through the first month of the season. They are allowing 165.5 rushing yards per game. The Bears still rank 29th in total rushing offense, averaging only 87.3 yards per game after the first month of the season. So we do need to see this run game continue what you saw against the Rams and, depleted Panthers defensive line, I should say, mainly just defensive line. And the Panthers, starting Andy Dalton, Bears should win on Sunday. All right. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, but one thing I do want to see against the Carolina Panthers this upcoming Sunday is continual progression and improvement, both eye test and stats, with the run game. All right. Now, defense. This is why the Bears' main reason they're 2-2, or at least the main reason that most of these games, pretty much all of these games, have been competitive to some degree. The Bears are tied for third in the league in takeaways with 8 and 8th in points allowed at only 18.8 per game. And I think it was Jalen Johnson who said it a couple of days ago saying, I feel like we haven't even played our best football. Well, the stats kind of tell a much different story there. So if the Bears defense has yet to play their best football, which I agree with Jalen Johnson, they're a top 5 defense unit. Andrew Billings, a huge reason why. He's the third best pass rushing interior lineman in the NFL. Right behind him, not far behind him, is Trevon Dexter Sr. The Bears are 5th in the league in third down defense and tied for 8th at keeping opponents out of the end zone in goal-to-goal situations. The Bears are also 3rd in the NFL in defensive success rate and 5th in total defensive EPA, which is expected points added. The run defense hasn't been great. They're 19th in yards allowed per carry at 4.52. Last season, they were 5th. So, it's not a perfect defense, but Eberflus, you have to give credit where credit is due. A lot of people, sorry, I just threw this in. A lot of people were hesitant that Matt Eberflus should even be the Chicago Bears coach this upcoming year. A lot of people thought he was going to be on the hot seat after the first month of the season, but he is a phenomenal defensive head coach. So let's look a little bit into the future here, because I guarantee you, I think starting Sunday, or I think it actually started last Sunday against Los Angeles. But this upcoming Sunday, once again at home against Carolina Panthers, and then you have another home game again, or I guess not a home game, against the Jacksonville Jaguars one Sunday from now, and then you have your bye week. So once again, Chicago could be easily 4-2. You're playing 2 of the bottom feeders in the National Football League. The Jags are as desperate as you possibly could ever have even imagined. I mean, it is that bad. They're 0-4, and Carolina, Andy Dalton, benching last year's number 1 pick in Bryce Young. And then you have your bye week, and you got a couple of road games against the Commanders, the Cardinals, come back home to take on the Patriots. And then things get fun where you play Green Bay, Minnesota, Detroit, San Francisco, Minnesota, Detroit, Seattle, and Green Bay. That's the final, 8 games of the Chicago Bears season. Every win counts, even if it is not pretty and it is not sexy. And even if your starting quarterback, is only thrown for 157 yards. That's all we got in tonight's Rant and Ramble. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily Bears and NFL content. But folks, give me your thoughts specifically on Caleb Williams, but also the Chicago Bears for the first month of the season down below. Peace.